because Duncan's a top 10 player all time, top 20. And then who's going to carry the water now for Popovich? So he tried to do that with Kawhi. And Kawhi's like, nah, bruh. No. You're not going to treat me like that. I'm not taking pay cuts here. I've been overlooked my whole life. I'm not going to say what you want me to say. And Kawhi didn't buy it. And what's happened to Popovich? Irrelevant. Spurs are irrelevant. And I'm not even sure they're an interesting free agent destination now. Because now you don't have Duncan taking the pay cuts, allowed to be yelled at, taking your rigid system, and it's a smart system. Here's where Belichick's smart. So for years, Belichick had Brady. Brady took pay cuts. Brady got yelled at. Brady just carried the water. Coach is right. Coach is right. Coach is king. Coach is right. Anytime there was a marginal controversy, Tim Duncan, Brady, mute it. Oh, it's no big deal. While getting yelled at and taking pay cuts. But Belichick, pretty smart. So here comes Cam. Cam is very popular with players. Because players, this is why players love Westbrook and don't love Steph. Players love athletes. Westbrook's fascinating athletically. Cam is giant. He's got a huge arm. He's an unbelievable athlete. He's MVP. Players like him. And Belichick, have you noticed Belichick? Third time in a week. Very complimentary of Cam. Cam's doing a great job. I love Cam. See, this is what Popovich didn't do. Popovich didn't realize that Duncan is a once-in-a-lifetime player. Pay cuts, yell at it. That doesn't happen. Belichick's figured it out. Most quarterbacks. So Belichick went on the Rich Eisen show yesterday, and it is just, he didn't compliment Brady like this in 20 years. He's had Cam 3 weeks. And again he goes on and talks about how great Cam's been.
Being with him every day. He's extremely hard-working player. First guy in, last one out type of guy. He really has studied hard, and he has spent a lot of extra time trying to learn our offense and our communication, our calls, and nomenclature and so forth. So, yeah, I've been very impressed with that, and, he's done a good job of picking it up. He's a very skilled athlete.
Do you remember when Belichick gave Brady the team ball last year for a game? Joy and I were on the air. It was uncomfortable. Bill had to acknowledge the greatest quarterback ever really mattered for a game. This is Belichick getting the temperature of the room. Hey, I'm not anti-player. I'm not an old rigid fart. Cam is terrific. This is good messaging. Cam is popular. Having Cam's now, I don't think Cam's going to be too successful because I don't think New England's very good. They don't have a playmaker on their offense. But I think the messaging here is really smart. Hey, man, we're not that rigid. We're pro player. We like his style. We got this guy's back. This guy's been great. Our system's not that hard to figure out. It's a great place to play. Popovich, he tried to turn Kawhi into Tim. And it's like, no, Tim's a once-in-a-decade NBA player. Yelled him, pay cuts. Brady's a once-in-a-two-decade player. Actually, Duncan is too. So I think now, this leads me into my 5 bets of the year. They're called future bets. Fox bet, over-under. They pick a number, over-under. My number 1 bet on the board this year is bet the under on New England. Fox bet has their over-under at 9. I think it's an outrageously high number. I think it's a 6-win football team. So here are my over-under bets, my 5. The Patriots lost 4 of their last 6 games. Jamie Collins was their leading sacker, gone. Kyle Van Noy got more hits on the quarterback than anybody, gone. They had a league-leading 8 players opt out. They return only 5 starters, and they play 7 games against playoff teams in the NFL. That's an NFL high. Cam had no camp. Cam shared snaps for a few practices. This is not a 9-win team. To me, New England is a 6-7 win team tops. My second one is the over on the Ravens 11. They have the easiest schedule in the league and the easiest travel schedule. One of their issues was pass rush, inconsistent. Went and got Calais Campbell. They played just 5 playoff teams from last year all season. And they finished the season with 6 games against non-playoff teams. So they have addressed their weakness, pass rush. Earl Thomas situation doesn't bother me at all. They are loaded in the secondary. Ravens over 11's my second best bet. Here's another one. Bengals under 5.5 wins. First of all, it is the best defensive division in football. Between the Ravens D, the Steelers front seven is scary, and I think Cleveland's personnel is outstanding, although they just lost a safety for the season. This is the 31st ranked offensive line, a rookie quarterback with no OTAs, no preseasons. It's the 30th ranked scoring offense, and I think Joe Burrow's got talent, but he's got no snaps in real games. And I look at this was a 2-win team last year. And I'm told Vegas, the wise guys, are pounding the under on Cincinnati. So that's my number 3. Number 4 is the over on the Carolina Panthers, 5.5. Okay, they won 5 games last year, and they were rotating quarterbacks. And Teddy Bridgewater is a hell of a lot better than Kyle Allen. And as much as I like Ron Rivera, he's not an offensive coach. Matt Rule, and I actually, they do a couple of things really well. First of all, in 2020, they've got a quarterback who distributes the ball, unbelievably coachable. Teddy Bridgewater's the kind of quarterback that you don't need a preseason. He'll figure out the playbook really fast. There's guys in this league, they figure playbooks out quick. Teddy's that guy. It's kind of like the coach's kid quarterback. Like, he just figures stuff out. He works everywhere. He's coachable. They've got 2 good receivers. They have a superstar running back. They get after the quarterback. They were number 2 last year in sacks in the NFL. You forget this. 53. Their schedule is pretty workable. They'll play just 5 games against teams 500 or better. I like their upgrades. They got Derek Brown in the draft. They fixed their offensive line. They got Robbie Anderson, the speed wide receiver. This feels like a 7 or an 8 win team. This feels like the team that will spoil somebody's season. And finally, Green Bay over 8.5. Folks, listen, I don't love everything about Green Bay, but this is not a 500 football team. Aaron Rodgers is still a top 8 to 10 quarterback. Their offensive line is ranked top 5 by Pro Football Focus. They have a star Devontae Adams at wide receiver, a star running back. And I thought their defense played well. You can't just look at their games against San Francisco and judge. They don't match up against San Francisco at all. By the way, Arizona's not a good team. They matched up very well. This is a matchup league. Okay, Baltimore's very good. They didn't match up well with Tennessee. Arizona matches up really well with Russell Wilson in San Francisco. Green Bay's a good football team. They'll face teams that missed the playoffs in 6 of their final 8 games. I think Chicago right now I don't trust. Detroit I don't trust. Minnesota I think has better overall personnel. But Green Bay in big games, I trust Aaron more than Kirk Cousins. Listen, I don't think Green Bay's a 13-win team. I think they were a 9-7 team. But this is the second year for Matt LaFleur and the second year for Aaron Rodgers together. Let's not go crazy on this. They're still a really good football team with what appears to be a top 7 or 8 Hall of Fame quarterback. All right, so there's my over-unders. Under New England.